my name is Z, and today we are talking about rigging. So there's many ways that Harmony is gonna make your life a bit easier and quicker, right? So there's little tricks and stuff like that. I never teach those tricks right away when I teach, because I want my students to kind of understand the value behind these tricks. And one of these tricks that I'm gonna share with you today is a way to instantly create an envelope around a shape. So I'm gonna use Wu again today because he's my favorite rig so far. And let's do on his shoulder pads. So the shoulder pads here don't have a deformer yet. If I click here, I don't have a deformer. So let's put it there. By the way, to put a deformer on a piece, usually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find it in my node view. Especially when it's hidden by other pieces, I will put a display under it by pressing Ctrl Y or Command Y on a Mac. I will attach it here. And then I will just switch to this display so that I can see my piece better. Another cool trick to work with deformers like that is you can take your whole rig and just put a transparency node under it, and then you insert it there, and it will always make your rig transparent. So sometimes it can also be useful to see through your pieces when you're dealing with deformers, right? So I will use a display just because it's more clear for the video. But yeah, these are two common things that I use to put deformers in my rig. Alright, so display 2, get my shoulder here. So one way to do it would be to take your shoulder, go get your hammer and wrench icon in the deformer toolbar, and then go to your tool properties, find the envelope mode, and then trace your envelope, which is usually the most precise and effective way to do things, right? This is important because then you get to choose where the offset is. And choosing where the offset is really important because the offset is the one and only handle thing that will not be linked together. By that I mean I can move these together, or I can break them using Alt and click. And by the way, if you want them to be smooth again, you just have to put them face to face and they will snap and then be smooth again, which is usually important for a deformer. But the offset here, this little bad boy, it will always be separated. This is life, and this is because of like technological limitations. It's something we have to deal with in rigging, so usually you kind of have to plan where you're gonna put this little bad boy. So yeah, if you have a complex shape, it's always better to do it yourself. But if you're in a hurry, like we all are usually, what you can also do is click on your drawing, and then, believe it or not, you can go to animation, and then you find envelope creator. Yes, there's a tool called the envelope creator, and it's amazing. You click here, and then you get that beautiful window. If you want to know how to use that window, don't forget to go check out the documentation, and it will explain to you everything about it. Maybe more details of what I can cover in a 5-minute video, but you know, it's great. I'm gonna have the link into the description if you want to check it out. Alright, so usually though, all I use it for is pretty simple. I will use the deformation point number here to choose how many points I want. Usually the less point you have, the better, because if you have too many points, it's just too many things to animate into your animation and it's gonna be annoying. But then you don't want to have too little either, right? So for this shape, I think 4 is more than enough. So I'm gonna keep it at 4. And then you have other things here you can customize. You can check the documentation if you want to. I usually don't even care about it. I just use the deformer points. And then I go to envelope mode. If I want an envelope, if you want to get a curvelope, you know, like the deformer that goes in the middle of your shape, you can also instead create a single center line instead of the envelope mode, just so you know. So I'm going to use envelope mode. Depending on what you have here, if I have a square, I could use all corner to have like it follow the drawing under it. It's going to follow like my vector points. And then since it's a very round and smooth shape, I'm going to use optimize handle, and this will usually keep your handle smooth, which is great. I mean, it's free, so I'll take it. You can also shape it in the node view, but honestly that's kind of overkill, so I never do it. I prefer to have my nodes in a straight line, but you know, that's kind of cool. And then I'm going to press create envelope. And then there you go, you have your deformer. It was created in 5 seconds. And you know, it's not always okay. Like sometimes the offset will be in a weird position. But if you're in a hurry, I'll take it. Like it's amazing. And usually I will just start from this one. And then I'll keep being into the rigging tool view. And I'll just tweak it. I can just then move my points. But at least like the long annoying part of like tracing them is done. However, if the offset was not in the right position, then you kind of have to shift them around. But even then, I think it's just quicker to just set them like that. It's just quicker and I like it. Alright, and just as a reminder, the reason where the offset is so important is because then again, these will be smooth. This one will not. It will always move one side or the other. So always be careful about that. And by the way, if you ever have a deformer and you see that the deformation is not that great, sometimes it's good to go back into your drawing. I will hide my deformer by pressing on the hide control button. Because sometimes you can go inside your drawing and just make sure that your artwork has enough vector points. Alright, I'm not talking about adding so many like that. This is dumb, like don't do that. If your shape is like this all the way around, it's just overkill. Don't do that. It's always better to have at least a good number of points if you want to have a very flexible shape. Because the more vector points, the more precise your transformation will be. And if you do that, don't forget as well that if you did that on your line art, it might not be reflected on your color art. Alright, so usually I'll just redo my color art if I need to. I'm gonna delete it here, press on the create color art from line art, and then you're gonna have the same number of points that you had on your line art and on your color art. There you go. Alright, so I hope that this is gonna be helpful to you. It will be helpful to me, for sure. And with that, I'm gonna wish you a wonderful week and see you again next time. Bye bye!